Hello class, this is one of our first lessons in geography, and right now we're just going to go over a brief review of the 5 themes of geography. Very important that you know this. I'm going to give you a cool mnemonic device that is really going to help you as we go along. There will also be a lesson up this week, one of our first in geography, which is eventually going to lead us into our zombie geography project, which I think you'll have a lot of fun with. Um, there's a great mnemonic device. Also, the video includes something that probably some of you, maybe most of you, are familiar with. It deals with Minecraft and the 5 themes of geography. I've created questions that go along with the video by a gentleman named Mr. Sen, which will also be an Edpuzzle on Google Classroom this coming week. Now, as we get into the 5 themes of geography, our goals are we can identify and explain what they are. Because it's not enough really to memorize them, but we're going to have to really use them in a way that we understand our world and what our world looks like around us by using these 5 themes. So here are the 5 themes of geography. We have location. We have place. We have human-environment interaction. This is probably one of the most important right here. And I think we really kind of want to highlight this one here. I mean, this is really important stuff, okay? Human environment interaction. Nope, I clicked on the wrong thing. I am sorry. You're going to have to give me a moment to continue. Here we go. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Movement. Speaking of movement, the internet's moving really slow. So, regions, and we're going to move on, hopefully. So, location is where we are. Now, there are 2 types of location. 2. We have absolute location, and that deals with your latitude and longitude, and eventually this week we will play the longitude and latitude song. You know, to get your latitude and longitude, well, you got to have the right attitude, right? And really, longitude and latitude is your exact address where you live. So if you look here, you have Washington, D.C., 39 degrees north, 77 degrees west. The White House is located at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. That's the exact absolute location. Now, your relative location is what you're near. So if I say that your house is near the Wawa, it's described by a landmark, and that landmark is Wawa. So that could mean anywhere around here. That could mean any of the neighborhoods located, a half a mile from the school. We can say if I'm visiting California, somebody wants to know where I live, and I say I live outside of Philadelphia. Well, I mean, Philadelphia is an hour away, but I also say I live near the beach. That might throw people off, but it is my relative location. We are located near the Atlantic Ocean, as is major metropolitan areas like New York and like Philadelphia. A place. Well, a place is what it's like there. What kind of place is it? It describes a place in terms of both the physical and human characteristics. And you can guess it. Well, the human characteristics are what are the main languages, the customs, and the beliefs that the people of that area follow. So, for instance, we look at Shaman. So the main language here is English. The customs here are very Americanized, and our beliefs are relatively the same. Although we do have different beliefs and belief systems, but our beliefs on our government and our nation and everything else are relatively the same. And you'll find that with a lot of places when you are describing a place. You also want to see how many people live, work, and visit this place. Is this a place that we commute to or a place that we commute from? So your major cities, people will commute into to go to work, and they will leave to come home to the suburbs. And you can see some of the pictures here. It is how people gather, the religions they practice, the customs as far as their clothes. It's really interesting to see how any of you that are into fashion, see how clothes change in regards to place. Now we get into the physical characteristics. So it's the landforms, the mountains, the rivers, the climate, the vegetation, the wildlife, the soil, and things around here. So if I am to describe the physical characteristics of, say, Shaman, I'm going to say there's farms. I know that you have a lake. The vegetation here is, very good for growing. The wildlife here in the Northeast is pretty abundant. I don't think you really appreciate um, where you live here on the Pinelands. It really is a beautiful, beautiful place. The soil here, acidic. Um, and you look, and a physical characteristic is what it looks like, what's there, what kind of trees are there, what kind of mountains are there, what kind of lakes are there. Human, again, are what the people in that area are doing. And there are two types of plays, as you will see in the video using Minecraft. Now, here's the most important thing, as I said earlier, human-environment interaction. And this is how you and I engage with our environment. So, and how it affects that environment. It can be positive and negative. We depend on it, and it kind of depends on us. People depend on, say, the Tennessee River for water and transportation. It gets people up and down. Actually, when the United States, before it became the United States, the Mississippi River was the main, you could say, roadway for getting goods up and down throughout the colonies. We modify it. We make it work for us. We build canals. People modify their environment. Here we go. They heat and cool buildings for comfort. So, unfortunately, those who come to school right now, we don't have air conditioning here in the early fall. And as we know, it gets very hot. But we are thankful that we have heat in the winter because it keeps us warm. And then we adapt to our environment. So if you live in a cold environment, you become used to the cold weather. Okay? If you live in a warm environment, you become used to the warm weather. So we wear clothing that kind of depicts that. So, for instance, if I live in Florida year-round, I'm probably going to be wearing Bermuda shorts and a Hawaiian. And here in the Northeast, which is kind of neat, we really do get 4 seasons. So, in the wintertime, we're going to put coats on. In the summertime, we're going to put shorts on. And in between, we'll wear sweatshirts. There you go, transportation, feeding, coats, now movement. Now, movement is how people, goods, and ideas are moved from place to place. We're really going to look at this in an abundance of ways. So, really, we're starting off with basic geography right now. And I'm not going to have you name a bunch of places and all that stuff. What I need you to know is the concepts related to geography. And this is really how history happens. This is how social studies happens. Because people migrate and they move. And with them, they bring products and they trade products. But not only that, they come up with these ideas and these solutions, these incredible things to solve problems. And they go from place to place. Human movement in our modern society uses trucks, trains, planes. Here's the fascinating thing. Many hundreds of years ago, we didn't have the movement of information the way we have now. Now we have email and text messages and iPhones and things like that. I can call China right now within 10 seconds and reach somebody. 100 years ago, that's impossible. So ideas move. So when the printing press is invented, one way ideas move was through books. So let's print off a bunch of books, and that is a good way to get ideas to move. And think about it. How do fads move from place to place? Is it east to west? Think about the United States. Do fads start in the east and move west, or do fads in the west come east? Usually it actually starts out west and eventually migrates. Music, clothes. What I've seen in the last 5 years is really an uptick in the love for new sneakers, which really started in southern Los Angeles and really has come and become a big thing in New York City. TV, radio, magazines, we really, these days, we're getting away from magazines, and really our magazines are the internet. The radio as well is also internet-based, right? So these are ways that ideas and people move from place to place. Unfortunately, we are in the middle of a pandemic, so disease can move as well with people, and we're going to find that by the middle of the year when we start to study Christopher Columbus. We'll see how human movement affects an entire global community. Okay, now regions. Regions are areas that have common characteristics. So there's formal regions, and that's the regions that your government, that's map regions. Regions have similar characteristics like the Corn Belt, the Rocky Mountain. You might even have like Chinatown in, say, all. It seems that all major cities seem to have a Chinatown. New York has one. Philadelphia has one. I've been to San Francisco. San Francisco has a huge Chinese population. Again, here in the Northeast, we're really defined by, we have some good growing areas, but we really are defined by our seacoast and our weather. Functional regions are defined by a service area, cell phone coverage. So what function do they serve? So here in Chemung, the cell phone coverage is, we get towards a city where there are more cell towers and things like that. Our cell phones really function rather well. Okay, so this is just a quick review. We're going to get much more in depth with this, but let's remember this. Here are our five themes of geography. I have a song for you. I have all kinds of stuff that we're going to get into. Again, this is just a brief overview. All you got to do is ask for help. Who do you ask for help? Mr. Help. Mr. Help will help you remember what those five themes are. So, movement, regions, you have Mr. And here's the help. Human environment interaction, HE, the L is for location, and the P is for place. And that is how we are going to remember the five themes of geography. Peace out. Have a good day. I hope to see you all in good health and good spirits. Adios, amigos and amigas.